Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the New England Patriots and going over whether or not I think they should trade for Arizona Cardinals pass rusher Chandler Jones. But before we get into that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Comment down below. I want to hear your GM skills, what you think Chandler Jones is worth in a trade package. You think he's worth the first round, second round, third round, whatever you think he's worth. Comment down below and you'll kind of hear my answer throughout. If you didn't hear, Arizona Cardinals pass rusher Chandler Jones, who's actually a former New England Patriot, which I'll kind of mention later, is unhappy with the Cardinals and has requested a trade. He's unhappy with his contract. He's not happy with the Cardinals' future. And while he will still be attending training camp, requesting a trade is requesting a trade. So he's technically on the block. The Patriots having that somewhat chemistry with them, that former connection, whatever you want to call it, might be in the market for a reunion, a guy that could actually help out this pass rush on the Patriots team. Look, I love the Patriots defense. I love what they did this offseason, not just on the defense. You know, brought in Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar, Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, all on the offense. The offensive line is sturdy. They got Matt Jones. Not sure how that QB situation is going to work out, but that's not about this video. Defense. Assuming they make a trade for Chandler Jones and keep Stephon Gilmore, I do think this is a team that can fight to be a top 5 defense. Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, Jonathan Jones, Devin McCourty. You have Dante Hightower come back. You brought in Kyle Van Noy. You brought in Matt Judon. Devon Godchaux you brought in from Miami. Christian Barmore from Alabama. Then you added Chandler Jones. This is a top 5 defense, I believe. Behind Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia came back. Josh McDaniels on offense. This is the Patriots' way. Phenomenal defense. Quarterback play is not Tom Brady by any means, but it is still a decent team that I could see making a playoff run. Just that type of defense, I don't know who really matches up with them that well. Assuming Chandler Jones is the guy he used to be. Last year, he didn't really play. He got injured. But the year before that, Chandler Jones still put up 19 sacks by himself. He put them with the Devon Godchaux, Christian Barmore, Matt Judon. Not all those guys are pure pass rushers. Of their goal is to sack, and they're not going to get you 10, 12 sacks. But you guys know what I mean. Just crowd in the box can really help Chandler Jones possibly win a one-on-one matchup. I don't know how the ties ended exactly. You know, that trade was 6 years ago now, 5 years ago, somewhere around that time frame. I don't know if they have, some bad blood together. They're just not talking. They're not even interested in getting back together at all. I'm not sure how that divorce, breakup went, whatever you want to call it. But theoretically, on paper, I think this would be a good move for the Patriots. Right now, I feel like a lot of people do think they're kind of 50-50 on the playoffs, They got the on-roster paper. They made the improvements this offseason. But what about the quarterback play? While Chandler Jones would not affect the quarterback play directly, indirectly, he would affect the team's overall win percentage. I believe that he can be a guy that gets you one extra win in the postseason because he got a strip sack at the end of a fourth quarter of a random game. I'm getting really theoretical and speculative here, but still, this is a future Hall of Famer, more likely than not, that I think you can get at a cheap value, He's entering his 30s. He's coming off an injured season, and he's only on a 1-year deal. The Cardinals can't expect a team to give up their franchise future draft capital for a guy that's given all those factors. Of course, those are all factors that might want you to stay away from Chandler Jones. You don't want a guy that's going to his 30s, becoming injured, and you're going to pay $50 million for just 1 year, rent a player. But the rent-a-player thing works, in my opinion. Aggressiveness works, in my opinion. It works in all sports. The Chiefs made the playoffs after playoffs after playoffs. They were fine going 11-5 and Alex Smith for so long, but they say this is enough. Playoffs are not enough. We're going to be aggressive. We're trading in the draft, and we're going after a new QB, Patrick Mahomes. He could have called it bold at the time. He could call it bold now, but what did it result in? A Super Bowl ring. The Bucs, well, of course, this is a very rare case. They brought in the GOAT of Tom Brady, but still, it was a risk and aggressive to bring in a 43-year-old quarterback who's aging and is one of the oldest quarterbacks to ever play. They took a risk and they're aggressive. What did it result in? A Super Bowl. And this is across all sports. The LA Lakers, they're aggressive. We got them my championship. Dodgers in the World Series, they were aggressive and got Mookie Betts. It resulted in a World Series ring. Aggressiveness works. This is a different case. Again, you're not getting an altering franchise player in a Mahomes or a Brady or an outfielder or a power forward. It's a little different in football when you get just an edge rusher, but still it has that type of energy, and around it, it's at least enough of a comparison to make the comparison. Again, I don't think it'll be that dramatic of effect, but if this team were to make the playoffs, were to be in the hunt, I think they could do it without Chandler Jones, but I think they would have a better chance with. Again, I don't know the exact relationship status of the two between the Patriots and Chandler Jones after the Patriots formally traded him to Arizona. It'd be kind of funny if Arizona now traded him back to Chandler Jones, but we've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. And to me, the reason this could happen is because all those factors of him aging, injured, one-year contract. It would be cheap. You're probably not going to have to give up a first-round pick. If you call the Cardinals front office and they are looking for a first-round pick or 2 firsts, hang up the phone. But if they say, yeah, we're looking for a second and a fifth, start negotiating. Or if they say, yeah, we're looking for a third, send off that third-round pick and bring in Chandler Jones. A third-round pick is as cheap as you're going to get for a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I see something happening around the Julio Jones trade. Julio Jones went for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick. I see Chandler Jones going for about the same price, a second and a fourth. It could be altering gears, could be plus or minus an extra day 3 pick. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm not a GM or in a front office. I can't crunch the numbers exactly, but that's my broad opinion. I think you'd go for about a second and fourth, a second and third, second and fifth, third and fourth, somewhere around that range. Again, you can't tell me if everyone's healthy and playing at the nth degree. Chandler Jones, Matt Judon, Devon Godshaw, Christian Barmore, Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, J.C. Jackson, Jonathan Jones is not pushing a top 5 defense. And of course, you could explore the possibility of trading Stephon Gilmore. He was on the trading block. He's kind of back with the camp now, but still, Patriots might need an extra pass rusher. Cardinals could really use an extra corner. We don't see many player-for-player swaps, but this is one I could see. They're both expensive, both coming off not their best years, both entering their 30s or already in their 30s. We don't see many player-for-player swaps, so this could be one I could see happen straight up one way or another. A team might send an extra fifth in advance, but I think these players are really close in comparison to really afford to just send them and them only. I'm kind of for that trade. I would try to get Chandler Jones with Stephon Gilmore and have them on the same team. But I think this would help out both teams, especially the Cardinals. I just feel like if they lose Chandler Jones and all they get is future draft picks, they're going to feel really let down for their expectations for this season. But if they trade him away, get an extra draft pick, even if it's just a fourth, and Gilmore, a guy that can up their secondary and up front, they still got J.J. Watt, Zavon Collins, Isaiah Simmons. They might still have some faith in this year. I think that would be a good trade for both. But personally, if I'm the Patriots, I'm doing my best to keep Gilmore and Chandler Jones, but I get money might not work out that well, and you might have to give up Gilmore to make the money situation work. We'll just have to see. You guys tell me your opinion. There might be something off the top of my head I'm just not thinking of. I'm open to your comments. Just sway me one way or another, but let me know. Referring back to the question asked at the beginning of the video, I kind of already heard it throughout. What do I think Chandler Jones is worth as far as trade value goes? Somewhere around a day 2 and a day 3 pick. A second and a fifth, a second and a fourth, third and a fourth, something around that realm trade value. Just like I said, I think it's similar to a Julio Jones trade where it could be second and a fourth, but we'll just have to see. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.